Welcome to This Place. Each week we ask Oregonians about the places that most matter to them, where they live, where they work, and where they find meaning and joy. This week we hear from Gabby Bay in Salem.
Right now, we're sitting in the little Jang building at Gilbert Children's Museum in Salem, Oregon. My mom has been the executive director here for the past 8 years, I believe. So I spent a lot of time here as a little kid. We had a membership and I would do all the summer camps. And then as I've gotten older, I've done a lot of volunteering. And the Gilbert House is important to my family and I because I've done a lot of volunteering work here. And as I said, my mom is the executive director. So this is a place that I spent a lot of time. Over COVID, the museum was closed. So we did a lot of volunteer work to keep it in a place where it could reopen. And also my sister and I would come here and do our online schooling in the museum buildings because it was just a way to get out of the house and there wasn't anybody else around. It felt a little bit weird to do school here. The main thing that was weird is that there was nobody else around. And it was really strange to just be in the buildings and have there not be the sound of like kids running around and playing. It was just silent all day, every day. The Gilbert House Children's Museum is in Riverfront Park on the Willamette River near downtown Salem. And it's comprised of a series of historic homes that were moved to the location. And within the homes are exhibits that kids can play in and learn about science and life. I have lived in Salem my whole life. My parents moved here from Salt Lake right before I was born. So I've grown up here in the same neighborhood, in the same place. I think if I grew up in Utah, I would be a lot less happy. I think Utah is a beautiful place. Utah has a lot of really nice parks, but the cities themselves can feel overdeveloped and claustrophobic. And to me, living in Oregon has exposed me to more viewpoints and more diverse kinds of people than if I just lived in Utah my whole life. Because in Utah, there's a very strong religious culture and a stronger sense of conformity. Whereas in Oregon, I think one of the things that people in the Willamette Valley pride themselves on, whether or not it's true, is having a sense of individuality and encouraging that. There's definitely a freedom to explore more creative parts of yourself, but I also think there's some social pressure maybe to do that, and that there's some pressure to be a specific type of unique individual. And I think Salem has a really strong sense of community if you're willing to evolve yourself in that community. There have definitely been things that I've wanted from Salem as I've grown up that it hasn't provided. I think the main thing is a lot of people my age tend to think that it's kind of boring. Salem is a really great place to raise a family and have young kids, but there's not a lot to do when you're like in your early 20s or late teens. But for the past couple months, I think I've been looking at Salem as a city through even more of a rose-colored lens as I think about moving away and starting college. Because as I've said, I've lived here my whole life. This is kind of all I've ever known. So I'm really grateful to this place, and it's strange to think about being somewhere else.
That was Gabby Bay in Salem. This Place is produced by Oregon Humanities and edited by John Richardson. To hear more stories from This Place, visit OregonHumanities.org or subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.